on a real note, a young rapper in his teenager years, not really getting the love that you need in the church. Did that affect your walk with Christ?
No, I'll tell you why.
Okay, cool,
I'll tell you
go
why
on.
for two reasons. One, because
Ignorant.
not even
You're
that.
like this.
It
Don't
was
get.
my. I think even from then I understood that my walk in the faith was my own.
Good.
Do you understand?
Good.
So I never followed people or words in that sense. The second thing was that, like I said, at that time there was such a great community of rappers anyway that you always felt the love. You understand? There was always people backing you, always people supporting, blah blah. And on top of that, I had a genuine, and the guys I was with, we had a genuine love for the art.
Affinity Extra, be extra.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily represent the views of Affinity Extra.
Yo, people, it's your boy here, Roger Moore here, celebrating gospel music of black origin, and I'm here alongside a special guest, and I'm gonna introduce you, do my usual the thing going on, and yeah, man, we're here in the sunny town of Birmingham. We got some crazy recordings to do and all that business and whatsoever. You know how we do it, guys. Anyway, so yeah, we're here, you know, again celebrating gospel music of black origin. I say it a million times because everyone's too scared to say it out there, so I have to say it enough times so people can actually understand that we are celebrating gospel music of black origin, and we're not celebrating and saying that there's no black people, only black people will play. That's not what we're saying. We're celebrating the music that has come from our culture, our hearts, and that's the breadth of gospel music, and not only the traditional sound of gospel, but from elements of the genres out there still, yeah, which has been created by black people. I will say it very strongly. And also got the guest here today, who's not a guest to the station, he's one of the presenters, DJ Marx, DJ Marx, yes, it is DJ Marx. Sorry, I almost gonna call it his original name here, but DJ Marx, because you know what, guys, he just kind of represent that, not the traditional sound of gospel, but the a number of sounds of black music which has affected his childhood and not affected him in a positive way, of course, which is part of really celebrating Christ through. So DJ Marx is going to introduce his upbringing. What was his favorite fruit? You know what I mean? Did he have breadfruit baked? Does he know about baked, in the oven breadfruit? You know about that, bro?
Of course I know about that.
Just checking, man. Just checking, man. Just double checking, you know. You have to try, man. So, you know what I mean? When they come with that, yeah, man, I'm from the Caribbean. You have to try out. Some say, you know about breadfruit? And they go, what's breadfruit?
Nah, not for me, man. I'm that dude that was taking the breadfruit from the tree. You know what I'm saying? I didn't buy it in the market like you, but I took it from the tree.
Here we go. Here's a punch back. You know what I mean? Here's a punch back. Now, I must admit, it's really crazy when family used to come back from the West Indies back in the day when you're allowed to bring back fruit.
Yeah.
And go there with empty suitcases. They come back with so much fruit.
Yeah.
I just remember having sugar cane. All that fresh fruit, like literally fresh going from. Listen, man,
it's probably good you didn't use my government name on here, because my aunt still does that. You know what I'm saying? She still does that. That suitcase is packed with the beers and all the alcohol, the food, everything.
Oh my goodness!
So trust me, that thing is still going on now, man. It's just that people don't get catch. That's
okay. Listen, man. Obviously, you got to be careful what type of herbs you put into the thing there. So you know what I mean? There's cinnamon, there's thyme, there's mixed herbs, there's rosemary, but there's other herbs that we can't carry over. So just make sure you stay safe, people doing everything themselves. But listen, you know, we want to definitely have a deep dive in terms of DJ Marx. You know, he's a contributor to what we're doing here on Affinity Extra. He contributes with football content as well, which we're not going to go into here because this is not the show to talk about football. We can know enough about DJ Marx in the RVM show, but the main thing is all about music here, what we touch about today. But DJ Marx, just explain, just so everyone can get a vibe of where you're coming from, yeah? Where did you know? Just give an idea of your upbringing and what was the space that you was around when it came to music. What influenced you in music? What got you into music and such?
Oh gosh, I don't even know where to begin, to tell the truth, because there is so many influences some people say, you know, I just was raised on like reggae and soca and all that kind of stuff, or whatever it might be. But one thing that I'll say about my family is that even from the time I was a child, I felt like they had every kind of genre of music.
Okay, they weren't like one dimensional.
Not one dimensional by any means. I mean, obviously because of the Caribbean influence, they're very much the reggae and the soca was still very
cool.
the most dominant one.
Cool. But the thing that's interesting with reggae though, so because obviously you're coming from a I don't know what's the best way to say it. You're from the lesser Entiles.
Yeah, I mean, reggae wasn't the dominant one. Obviously, people tend to associate that more with Jamaican, maybe one or two of the other islands.
Do you get salty when people say to you, "Oh, you're from the small islands"?
No, not at all.
Okay, you're cool with that.
No, listen, I'm a proud St. Lucia. I'm proud St. Lucia. No one can come tell me nothing.
Okay. Yeah, because some people are like, "What you got me for small island for?" You know what I'm saying?
I'm not worried about them things.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so like I said, the reggae and the soca was dominantly there, but I remember everything from like. Country and western and jazz and all that kind of stuff. So there was a mixture of music going on there. My dad, in particular, I'm talking about going back. So you're talking about the old generation that collected vinyls and they had vinyls. Yeah. So my dad had a lot of vinyls.
So was he down a church man?
No, he wasn't actually.
Okay, cool.
Not church man in terms of.
You go church or something.
I mean, my family, when I was born, we was raised Catholic. So that was the thing. So
that's a small island thing.
So yeah, it is a small island. Caribbean Catholic goes hand in hand.
St. Kitts is where they come. I find that the church is a lot more quieter on St. Kitts than I
don't know. I mean, I think Catholic churches in general, no matter where you go, are quieter. Caribbean, England, USA, it's the same thing. So yeah, we were raised Catholic, so very strong in that particular faith. So my dad was going to church in that sense up until an age, because obviously when you're a certain age and your grandparents are going or your parents are going to church, you ain't got no choice but to go to church.
100% man, 100%.
So in that sense he was going, but he heavily into music, used to follow sound system and the whole lot, that kind of stuff going on. So music was always a big part of the family. Do you know what I'm saying? So in terms of influence, I wouldn't say just one particular thing. I had stuff that I was gravitated more to because I heard it more, like the reggae, the soca, but I was very aware of the other genres that were playing around as well. Yeah.
So see, are you talking like, say you've been in St. Lucia more than 2 weeks, bro? Yeah. So you tell me, so are you British born or?
Listen, bro, I finished my primary school in St. Lucia. I was saying, I finished primary school.
So you're born here. So you're used to the cold.
Went over there, finished schooling,
and come back.
Yeah.
That's interesting, You would think that you would send your child over here to get educated. You know what I mean?
No, you know what? It went the other way. And I actually can say, as a product of it, that the education in the Caribbean, up to today, still for me, is better than here. Yeah. There's stuff that I was learning in school in St. Lucia. I didn't learn till secondary school, second year in secondary school when I got here. I think education was very different. And again, for me, I think children learn within a well-structured, disciplined environment. And them times there when I was going to school, they all still had the cane and all that kind of stuff going on. So man used to be getting licks if you didn't do your homework, licks if you're talking in class. But because everyone was so aware of that, you was always focused on your work. So I suppose it enabled the education there to kind of progress a bit further. You know what I'm saying? Because they could say the kids are dedicated, they're focused, we can teach them these things. So so literally all the things that I learned there, it's only when I got to like the second year of secondary school here I started to learn those things. I was glad to finish it off. Cool.
Okay, cool, yo. So with so obviously you're a British citizen. I mean, you're subject to Britain, but you had the flavouring from the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, the flavouring's there. I mean,
so if you had a choice, would you play for St. Lucia or England?
No, I'll play for St. Lucia, 100%.
Okay,
100%.
Even if he was good enough to play for England.
Even if I was good enough to play for England, I'll play for St. Lucia.
Okay, good.
If it means I never see a World Cup fight, I don't care. I said, St. Lucia through his V band. So,
okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good. Because we've got a couple of sellouts out here. You know what I'm saying? Let's start Sacco. Let me start the whole list of them. Yeah. Johnny Barnes. You know what I mean? But anyway, sorry guys, we're not going to digress there. But no. So that's great. So with your family now. So you come back over to the UK. We're a similar age. So we there's a lot of things that were happening as we got into college years and stuff, and not so much riots and stuff, but it's like we come up there with some sort of optimism, but it was like it was like, what do I do in my life? You know what I'm saying? You got church, was starting to change as well. In our late teens, you had the new Ruach started to come out and different things like that. Even the way we started spreading the gospel, you know what I'm saying, was changing now. You had the talk to us about that change, because you was around some of the groups that were part of that change. Because, you know, one thing I want to do, guys, is we had a great conversation with Joel Wilson. I'm not too sure if you've seen that yet, so you need to check that one out, bro, because that he was talking about, you know, going right back into the 90s when it comes to Christian rap, which there was a Christian rap scene, you know what I'm saying, in the 90s. Not so much the 80s. Anyone talks of 80s over here, they're just shouting rubbish. That's just a man rapping to himself in the shower. But if you had to show us in the 90s now, there was some things happening still for that. And you was whether you was part, but you was around that. You know what I'm saying? So
I was part of that and around that. Yeah.
Okay, so explain your part and when was this happening? Because a lot of people tell me these things, but they're not telling me what year it actually happened.
You know what? It's funny because I came back to England when I was 13, and I actually got introduced to the rap side of things pretty much straight away. So I started going to New Testament Church of God in Mile End, and at the time that I went to that church, there was actually two rappers in that church that one scene. So that was Gifted and Blessed Man.
So they're new tea.
So they were new tea, yeah. So they were going to that church at the time, and I think it was literally a matter of weeks. I kind of Gifted introduced himself to me. I think he was actually doing a rap at church at the
Let's pause that for 1 second, guys. I have to say, you know, when you dig into these things, you just assume that all the rappers go to pure independent churches. They probably went to independent churches afterwards. But you got the likes of eBay used to go to
same church.
You say, so it's a new tea. You started it, man. I finished it or progressed it, but
there's a lot of guys from back in the day that came from New Tea in the same church. So like I said, Gifted, Ibe, like you said, Blessed Man, even Dave P, all these guys, same church. So we're talking about going back a while.
Dave P, the radio presenter.
Radio presenter,
who's from Birmingham. But anyway, we're not let's go there, Dave P. Set out for Birmingham.
So
one day.
Literally, like I was saying, Gifted introduced himself to me one Sunday after he was doing his rap. In fact, I think it was the other way around. He'd rapped, and I went to tell him how much I liked it, and then we just kind of got talking. And literally, there was myself and a younger brother called Eston, who's sadly passed away now. But he literally took us under his wing. So, like, after we expressed our interest in it, one day he invited us around to his house and to show us, a few things. And then next thing we knew, he was teaching us how to write bars. How he would put the songs together. Those are the days when you had like Cubase and stuff like that, and people using like DAT tape and mini disc, all them kind of things.
Way back. But that's great, bro. And I want. Sorry, I do use on my edge show a lot still, guys. I want you guys to just really understand from his position here, and a question that I'm asking the UK gospel today: are you prepared to pass on your skills to the next generation at a stage? Right at the beginning stages, that's scary. No, you know what I'm saying? That is real scary. That's real talk weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. And like I said, myself and this other guy, we started with Gifted maybe for about a month or two, and then we brought on these other two guys, which I'm still very close with today. In fact, we've got a WhatsApp group where we chat like every day. And they basically...
What's the names of the two other guys?
So one of them, Jonathan Rowland.
Yes. Okay, cool.
And,
heavy.
And it was David Rowland, his brother. So it was like the four of us. And Gifted literally put this group together. We called the Rap Academics. And we literally were just going all around the UK, just rapping. That's
crazy.
Doing all kind of stuff.
So this would have been mid-90s, isn't it?
Yeah. So literally, we were going to the same kind of events that, Warrior, Jahaziel, Bold, all these guys were going. So we became part of that community, and we got to know these guys, and they knew us and stuff like that. And then even down to like they used to, can't remember the name what it used to be but I think it's called Worshipping Warriors. So like all meet up, pray, all that kind of stuff. So there was the community of rappers in that period. It wasn't just a bunch of guys rapping, but it was a literal brotherhood. Do you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Of people coming together. If one person says they're going to be rapping at an event, all the rappers were going down, even if it's just to support. You know what I'm saying? If we're going together to pray, we meet up to pray. Gifted's house, we used to go to his house, myself and the group I was part of, and we used to be there like 2-3 times a week, literally just to learn how to write lyrics, learn how he mixed the music. So we learned the craft. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously we got introduced to people like Watchmen, which was like very close to Gifted at the time and stuff like that. So we were around a lot of these guys. and just came up with them doing the music and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good times, man. Good times.
Wow, people, like, and you know what's crazy, guys? I just really think that's not in the UK gospel scene anymore. The ability to support community. I saw that at the beginning of GR Live, brother. And the success of GR Live is because the community backed to GR Live. The moment that the community started just backing themselves as individuals, that was when GR Live not so much failed, but I saw the cracks, and hence why I don't really do London shows, bro. Not because and even Birmingham shows, I'm just really not I'm not. If the community is not going to back it, what's the point?
Oh, you know what? I feel it's for the hip hop side of things. You know, I can't speak for like, you know, R&B or your choir groups and all that kind of stuff. But the hip hop side of it, I think it's definitely coming back now, because when they start to put a lot of these hip hop grime drill events on, most times these guys move in a group now. So when you go there, I mean, you'll get the odd occasion where some people might not speak, but most times you're going to see the same heads there, because these guys know about what's going on. They back each other and stuff like that. So I'm beginning to see almost like a return to that community vibe amongst it. But
how do we maintain it though, bro? Because the thing is, what broke up that togetherness that we had? What really broke it up? Because I'm talking about GR Live was at least 15 years after that, really and truly, because I didn't bring over the truth them until 2009. I know they've came over, but I feel that was a period where you could even do bigger shows then, and obviously them days are the days where you guys were getting slandered for breathing in a rap tone, you know what I mean, and whatsoever. But the reality show is that understanding why it broke up is a key thing, Bob. Is okay starting back up. Well, why did it break up? Before I start doing this now today, why did it fall apart? You know, people always blame because so and so got married, because so and so got this and so and so that.
I don't think it's so much to do personalised, like in terms of like marriage, jobs, that kind of stuff. Everyone's going to have their own opinion. So this one is just mine. I'm not saying this is the overall fault that everybody. Of course. But for me, I think there's two major reasons. One, people started thinking of self, and two, people started believing in other false doctrines. And the reason I say that is because at the time, a lot of people, if they weren't singular artists, a lot of the artists were part of a group, or at least rapping with somebody else. And the thing is, when you see you're in groups, as naturally happens, everybody in the group has their own idea, has how things should work, how the finance are done, all this kind of business. So eventually voices start to raise up. You know what I'm saying? And then as a result of that, you know, people start getting disgruntled because of things that have been said, all this kind of thing. And next thing you know, they don't want to be a part of this because this person or that person or this been said, or this has not been done, or they feel like they should have a bigger role or whatever it might be. I saw that a lot happening.
Ego.
A lot of ego. And at the same time, there were a number of brothers back in the day that were very dominant on the scene, had some massive tracks. I mean, tracks that I would bop and listen to now because they're that good. You know, the one, you know, them tracks that they say transcend time. No matter how many years later, they're still banging. I would listen to those tracks now, but then when you see what happened, a lot of these brothers, they started like, in their aim to get closer to God, they started researching other things. You know what I'm saying, to find out what the truths are, and then they get carried by these other things. And as a result of that, before you know it, now rather than believing in God, they think, this is the truth, and they've gone to listen to that thing. I've seen that a number of times as well. So
really looking at those early stages of deconstruction of their faith, effectively, there was because the thing is with rap, something that you can't hide with, bro, you have to have lyrics. And in choir music, you don't need lyrics. Sorry, choir people. All you gotta do is say, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it. That's the easy one. If you could do that, bro, you know what I mean? You might as well just do anyway, so I get myself in trouble there. But what I find with rap, you have to chat, so you have to even start to scrap. You have to dig deep to get the lyrics and the content. So digging it deep in a space where, in our churches, where they weren't going deep in the word. Let's be real, man. You know what I'm saying? Very few ministers, they could think they're deep, but they're not. Everything's about emotionality. But rappers were coming away from emotionality, and the biggest changes in rap in the theological world has been the challenges that rappers have to a lot more pragmatic, a lot more go into it, how to fight my faith kind of perspective. You know, is the Bible really true? Is it a factual book? And they're going in there, and like you said, you know, if we don't have leadership ready to answer them conversations, because remember, they struggled with the Rastaman. So when Rastaman was going, yo, You know what I mean? Yo, so-and-so's black, so the Bible's black. You know what I mean? People struggled with it. You know, Maccabees, where's Maccabees? And then they kicked them out of church. What do you think is that church fear of going that much deeper?
You know
really
what?
left the man's by himself.
As you're saying that, something just comes to me. It's funny, I've never thought of it over the years. I'm not sure, obviously, what other people's thoughts and opinions, but this is what just came to me. When rap was going on in that time, we're talking about the early 90s, like we were saying, early 90s, late 90s.
Yeah.
It was still very much a time in the church where we're talking about churches where the sisters were wearing those big hats, the brothers were going to church, they had to wear tie and stuff like that. Rap was not accepted.
No, falls up. Yeah.
So the progress that we see now is because of the fight of these rappers over the years to get the rap to where it is now. So these guys can now do drill, blah blah, in the church. In those times we weren't. I mean, when we started, we used to literally go on a set, do a stage, and we know that we banged. You know what I'm saying? And come off there, no applause, everyone just looking at us. And often we're not going there for applause here, but it was almost like they looked at us as if to say we were doing something demonic in the church. You know what I'm saying? Now the reason I raised that is this year, right? Unlike choirs, unlike singers or someone that's going to do poetry or stuff like that, they were always supported in the church.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Always covered because churches always call you for a choir, always call you to sing, always call you to do that. But the rapper, it could be argued, didn't have that same kind of covering. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't accepted. It wasn't accepted in the church, and as a result, it made it harder for them to do this thing that they now believe God has called them to do. While still.
So when you was going all around the country, you used to doing events. Where were the events then?
It's funny. I mean,
in churches?
we did do some churches, some youth events and stuff like that in churches. But I also remember a number of events we did were just like community based. Literally community based, not Christian. They've just heard about these group of guys which can rap, and they would allow us to come in and do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, it's weird. The church didn't accept this message of Christ in the form that was being delivered, but at the time we was getting more bookings from the world, even though we was delivering the message of Christ.
Wow,
do you understand? So it's mad.
That's crazily. That's crazily cool, but it's sad that we've probably lost and discouraged a lot of our generation in ministry because of the ignorance to new styles of music. Now, I want to really emphasize this part out to people because I'm sick or tired of being asked this question, bro. I got asked this. I was in a podcast, Zoom things, and somebody asked me a question and they said, "Oh, Roger's here. He does rap." To the older guys, I'm the rap guy. Yeah, you know what I mean. Bear in mind, I can't rap. You know what I mean. I play bass guitar. I sing part time. Amateur singer, but so effectively I'm not really a rapper. I tried to do it to a Method Man and Mary J. Blige track, when he worked to for the Valley of Shadow of Death, then he just crashed after that, so I was never going to rap. Maybe if I went to rack up, maybe if I hang about these guys I might have a better chance. But the sadness of the situation is that basically that I got asked the question, said, "Roger, what do you think of gospel drill?" Yeah. Now I know why they raised the thing is because of Spat Nation drama. Yeah, that's effectively what it is, and saying that that's gospel drill, but we know that's not gospel drill. You know what I'm saying? I listened to them. How on earth are we still asking the question with new styles of music about whatever form of music that is new? The church has a problem with it. And I'm going back to Andrea Crouch, bro. Andrea Crouch, there's nothing but sing Andrea Crouch songs. But my dad, and I was talking to my friend's dad, who's not with us anymore. He told me straight, yo, man got in trouble for going to that concert. I know young people that said they got told in church, don't go to Andrea Crouch concerts. Because he was new and fresh. We look at Andrea Crouch now and thinking that's some old school stuff, and that's why Soulful plays out all that. That's old school stuff. But they were seen in the 80s and in the early 90s. They were told, don't all you young people come here. Saying, do not go to Andrea Crouch. That's what they were saying in churches. So it's just, the same thing keeps repeating itself, and we're losing hordes and hordes and hordes of young people, bro. All because of a controlling, ignorant body.
The thing is, I
don't know if that sounds too harsh there.
No, not at all.
I'm saying because we're losing people.
I had a conversation with somebody recently, and this is what I was saying to them: is that people seem to forget that when Christ walked this earth, he didn't say, I'm going to just go to the temple or whatever. He literally went everywhere where the people were. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we know, man.
The same way that he sat with his disciples,
right?
Yeah. He would sit down next to a prostitute and have dinner. Do you understand? The same way he would go in the temple and he would read the word, he would go on the mountaintop and stuff. And this is the thing for me, is that what Christ's final words were to us here, right, when he left, was, go ye therefore into all the nations. You understand? But what the church did over the years was almost like they put a wall around themselves and saying, come inside here because this is where it's safe. You understand? And things like the hip-hop, the drill and whatnot were seen as things outside of that wall. You understand? So as a result of that now, like you said, it takes them, if you imagine when rap first came in, it's almost like somebody was standing at the church door peeking through, seeing, let me see what this thing's about. And then eventually they let the rappers in. So now it's safe. And then suddenly drill comes out and now they're back at the door. You know what I'm saying? So it's
weird,
It's weird. So it's like, like you said, every time a new thing comes in, if it's something they don't know or something that seems out of the norm, they want to shun it, bro. They have to, they want to shun it, or they want some kind of proof as to that this is gospel, or for it to become acceptable to other churches, and some say, oh, this church is doing it, so it must be okay. So let's think as well.
Once people get involved, they go like, we're cool with it now. But did you, on a real note, a young rapper in his teenager years, not really getting the love that you need in the church, did that affect your walk with Christ?
No, I'll tell you why. Why for two reasons. One, because
ignorant.
Not even
you like this.
It was my. I think even from then I understood that my walk in the faith was my own.
Good.
Do you understand?
Good.
So I never followed people or words in that sense. The second thing was that, like I said, at that time there was such a great community of rappers anyway that you always felt the love. You understand? There was always people backing you, always people supporting, blah blah. And on top of that, I had a genuine, and the guys I was with, we had a genuine love for the art. You know what I'm saying? So whereas now, for example, I look at some rappers and I think, you're just taking this thing for a joke. We used to spend like hours, days, and literally go to each other's houses, just sit down just to write lyrics for the whole day. You know what I'm saying? Or like, we'll say, oh, we want to write this song, and then that person will drop 4 blah blah. We used to muck about doing beatbox. You know what I'm saying? It was all anything to do with art. We was on it. Do you know what I'm saying? And back in them days, there wasn't as much producers around this thing. So we used to use like the backing tracks of some of the secular artists until we were able to thing, right? But we was on this thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I lived and breathed. I used to be going on the bus, bruv, and like while I'm on the way to college or whatever, any little piece of paper I have in my pocket, man's writing lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
While people got unlimited space on their phone, and
on the back of my bus ticket, bro. You know what I'm saying? Back of my bus ticket, I'll be writing this lyric or whatever line I added. And so we was on this thing, hungry for it. You know what I'm saying?
So how did you, now? I'm going to expand into this college because I want people to get to know you a bit still. Yeah. So I was at college the same time, similar time to yourself. You know what I'm saying? I think it was about a year between us or something like that. So and how did you? Because you want to be cool with the black folk. Them days it's like you want to be cool with it, whatever. How was it being a Christian who likes music? Because I remember being a Christian and who likes music. You know what I mean? And then you had the SWVs coming through. You had the Jades. You had Wu-Tang coming through. You got all these big let's be real, our music was coming out. Music was getting them big now. You go, all you have to do is go patch HMV and them places, our price. You know what I'm saying? Virgin. You know what I'm saying? And you're in London. So you're in London now. Every centre is got a shop which is selling records now. That like a tunes that you're going, that is going. You know what I mean? So how did you? I'm not saying, guys, before I say that you're not allowed to listen to secular music, I'm not saying it at all. You know what I'm saying? Because I got a single, then I got like Mr. Window and all them guys, Arrested Development and all these guys, and then I didn't know what the original samples were. The Brat, the Funkified, and all his business. Believe it or not, man, the Brat. Anyway, still, let's not go there. How did you navigate that as a young guy, being a Christian? How was that looking back then? How was it like? Listen,
like I said, I never responded for people,
Okay.
I mean, to tell the truth, even before I made a full commitment to Christ, my kind of thinking was, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway, and not in a bad way, but in the sense of, I realized that I couldn't live for other people.
Yeah, good.
So even with the music side of things, I was Christian, I was doing Christian rap, blah blah, but I was still listening to all the hip hop out there and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can't even begin to tell you how much singles, albums, EPs. I had everything, hip hop, R&B. Listen, I had everything.
So who was you listening to?
Who wasn't I listening to? Probably more the Christian. I think it's funny that you say that. The only group that I probably didn't get into too heavily was Wu-Tang, and it wasn't because of all the spiritual thing that people were talking about them, but I just didn't like them in terms of their style. That was just my preference. But I listened to most of the guys, and funny enough, in a way, it also helped me with what I was doing in terms of my ministry. And the reason I say that is because, like I said, I had never rapped before. I'm backed up Gifted, stuff that he was teaching us here, right? But listening to these guys, I thought, okay, how do they pronounce these particular words in the back? How do they do this flow? How do they manage to? Because I'll write lyrics here, man. Gifted always just say to me, bro, you got all these lyrics and you can't breathe because there's too much words in there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, so how are these guys writing these bars and shortening it in a way where they get the same message here without putting so much words in? So it was all these things, listening and kind of like learning from the industry in terms of the genre. That helped me to do the stuff that I was doing.
So what else helped you? Was it the case that when you bought the singles, you got instrumentals on there as well? Bare instrumentals, man.
You buy the single, you get the main single, maybe a little remix and the instrumental.
Listen, man, that instrumental was like it felt like it was $1.99 in it. And when if it's a big tune, it's $3.99. You know, because they're gonna sell out. So guys, just to give you a picture of what probably you're going to, like, we had a big Virgin record, so you go into Virgin now, HMV, you go into there now, and you had the tracks that come out a week, and the black section wasn't like what it is now. It's just blended now. But the black section was there. Dedicated black section, which the only section that mans will walk into. You just walk up the stairs, you walk past all the Spice Girls, all that malarkey, you just walk to the black section now, and then you see the latest ones, and you see SWV, like all the big ones were $3.99, but certain ones were $1.99. Like Fresh Prince. Like not Fresh Prince, Will Smith, Boom, Shake the Room. You know what I'm saying, bro? And then you get to number one, and you're thinking, how's he get to number one? Because it was half the price. But then when Jay-Z did or somebody else did a single, and you think, oh god, you know who was also popular back then? It was like I don't know why this track was popular, but it was because the soundtrack was what's his name? Was it Coolio? Gangstas Paradise. How on earth, bro?
I'll tell you why it became popular. I'll give you two reasons why it became popular. Because you use scripture.
Walk for the valley of the shadow of death.
Let me tell you about it, right? That particular track here, right? One, that track was a soundtrack from a movie. So the movie helped with that. Second reason is because at the time, rap was, especially in the younger environment, it was become very popular with your Tupacs and Biggies and all them guys doing their stuff, Busta Rhymes, all these guys doing stuff. So it was becoming more acceptable, and that track was made with a choir, which made it more appealing to other cultures.
Okay, soften it.
And on top of that, then you had the church element where it sounds kind of surprising, but for example, the choir that sang Gangstas Paradise with Coolio in the video when he did like his tour stuff, was actually the same church I'm talking about that I went to. So a lot of the singers that were in my church were the choir for Coolio. You know what I'm saying? So that way you now have, when man's putting the video out now, right? Now you've got elements of the church which are watching Gangstas Paradise to see if they know somebody in the video. So there's all these kind of little bits that kind of made it the success that it is.
Top of the pots, right? The top of the pots was like, name the musician from church, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It was like this. Oh yeah, I know him. Who's that guy with the glasses on? Oh, that's his chin. You know what I mean? His mom don't know he's there. You know, that's a crazy one. That's crazy interesting, man. Because like for me, I wasn't into hardcore rap. I was more into the commercial rap sort of stuff. So I like to like play for stuff like Skilo, which was a baller, which was a taller, which was a baller, all the little playful things.
So you must have liked like a Tribe Called Quest and them kind of guys.
Yeah, man, all day, and I just like the more party vibe type of things. Missy Elliott, loved Missy Elliott, you know, and like Timbaland. Timbaland was an absolute monster, man.
Timbaland and Missy together was just like
that was just like. And I remember watching MTV, and I loved MTV because they did these videos, documentaries back, and it just changed it helped shape my mindset. The joke was, watching secular, like yourself, watching the secular scene and looking how they operate. I wanted to bring that engine room into gospel. You know what I'm saying? So when they're saying, yo, I hooked up in a week with Timbaland and we made an album in the week. For us, sometimes, bro, we want to go to Mount Sinai for 5 years and come back with an album. I'm saying, yo, let me crank out, let me work with a producer. And let me work on this thing, and I can bang this out in a week. I'm not saying everybody can write in a week here, but there's got to be gifted people in the kingdom that can mix with a quality studio, quality disc, quality producer, and knock it out. And that really kind of hit me, you know. And then what I loved about Timbaland, he had the Mr. Magoo, remember the Spider-Man track? I still got that vinyl somewhere. I might have it here still anyway. But and you had Roots as well, you know what I mean? And all these crazy stuff. Sorry guys, this is nostalgia hitting out there. So you had all this now coming through, but at the same time, bro, we had no gospel hip hop. Let's be real, right at that period there, bro. We had no gospel rap to buy.
I'll tell you, the very first
what was your first album?
Rap, not even first album, first gospel rap
track, you know,
it wasn't even a gospel rap track. First gospel rap element that I heard was actually on a Helen Baylor track. She did a track called Renew Your Mind, and there's a rapper that comes in later on. And like literally I listened to that track over and over again just to get to the rap. And I learned those lyrics, and so that was my first exposure to. Oh wow, okay.
You can rap in this.
So, but yeah, literally, I think one of those things where, I think the hunger and the craft was very different then than it is now. But I do see elements of it coming now, because if you watch these guys where they talk and the music they're producing and how frequent they're releasing stuff, it's very clear to me that they're writing. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's elements from back in the day which the younger generation of grime artists, drill artists are starting to do now. And when I say younger generation, I'm talking those up to the age of maybe like 25.
Okay, talking about the new guys then, right, so I find that they talk very dark. So I know drill music is very, very dark and dreary in terms of but so they try to emulate that. This is my opinion. I'm not a rap writer, so I'm coming to you as somebody who listens to music and a rapper who knows how to write rap, as well. And I find that the more talk about the dark side of life, which is more like fighting demons and doing this and whatever, they're still which is theologically incorrect. You do not, if a devil comes into the room, my advice for people is jump through the window. This is not because listen guys, if you want to go fist to fist, you know what I mean, you just make sure you've been living like a monk for the past 10 years, man. You got and everybody else is just pure around you in life. You know what I mean? Don't run around like you can beat up Satan. But anyway, but I think I just get that spiritual arrogance a bit too much in the lyrics. And I believe, yes, we're standing in Christ, and I believe I'm proud in Christ, and I big up my chest, but these young cats are coming across over arrogant. Is that me being too harsh on it? Or is that just a lack of experience? Were you the same when he was their age?
No, I wasn't. But
you're going to do DDT on Satan?
This is the thing here, right?
DDT.
I don't believe, personally, that a lot of the rappers that are doing these kind of lyrics are actually out there, like, doing the stuff they're saying in the videos, like binding and cutting and all that. I think it's a lot of a hype thing. It's very similar to what we get in secular hip hop, where they say, guys which are like, went to some posh high school talking like they're gangsters. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot of that kind of thing going on, where they've structured their lyrics in a way where they know it's going to be sellable or it's going to reach a certain audience. Because I'm thinking in this sense that, on one hand, I hear what you're saying regarding they're talking about the dark side of things here, right? And as a result, you're thinking, why are you talking about this stuff there? But at the same time, it's like, if you see I'm someone that I'm not Christian, my mindset is I don't really want to hear nothing about Christ here, right? Then I definitely don't want to hear a drill track where you're coming to me and saying to me, Christ is the way, and then I'm blessed. Right. Kind of thing.
You come gritty.
I want to come gritty. And then maybe once I hear the gritty, right, I'm thinking, no, I didn't even know this stuff was here. You know what I'm saying? So I start listening to it, and then suddenly I find whatever. So maybe it's about getting the right balance, having the gritty one, but having other stuff that they can also hear once they get
who are the gritty rappers in the UK right now?
Well, oh gosh,
I know one. Let me see if you name that one.
It depends on what you're calling gritty. You talking about grit when they're like cut things down and blah 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 and this that and the other. There's a number of them. If you're talking about grit in terms of the hardcore style, then I'd say there's maybe 2 or 3.
Go on.
hardcore style.
Yeah.
I'd say either Rebler.
Yeah.
I have heard some from Melvillous, so I would put him in there. Who else would I put in there?
Canola.
Yeah, Canola.
Yo, you play Canola, guys, and there's a demon in the room. The demon will jump out the room still, I'll tell you that straight.
Yeah.
He says, what they would have bred you, that brother there. So,
he's gritty and hardcore.
He's like,
On the way here, I was listening to a Attractivity called Battling. Yeah, right. I love that track because even though it is exactly what you said that they do, I listened to that track here and I actually feel like he's actually causing damage with that track. It's deep. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, again, I think a lot of the stuff that's been said in the gospel rap, from my opinion, is that it is a lot of it is a selling ploy.
okay.
That's my opinion. The reason I say it because I know some of the guys personally, and I know they're not out there every day doing what they're saying on the tracks.
This is the danger. This is the danger, guys. You know, but you have to live the chat, man.
You have to
because it's not like on road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even on road, bro, man who fake gangsters. Talk gangsters, you know what I'm saying, bro? Man don't get no cred. You hear me still, yeah? It's not going like you're a real G when you're not a G. You know what I'm saying? You know, and some of these guys going like real G's in Christ, and they're just flappers, bro. You know what I'm saying?
But then that's what I'm saying. On the flip side of that, when they drop a track, for example, and it hits Spotify and iTunes, you're looking at it, and when you see, for example, some of them might have like, I don't know, 70,000 plus listeners, yeah, right? That's not all Christian people. Some of these are non-Christians which have heard the track and they like the track.
So how do you feel that? He's not. Sorry, guys, I'm just quizzing, but I'm trying to trigger his heart and see what's going on in his heart, guys. So, being a young rapper like from back in the day, bro, and selling probably lucky to sell and releasing out releases, lucky to sell 100 and 200, 300 copies. Yeah. How do you feel some of these young artists come at the scene with the second track and they got 1 million views? They're literally doing that, bro. Do you call it is? What the puppy show is this? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? How does that make you feel? And
no ways at all. I'll tell you why. Yeah, right. Because of 2 reasons. A lot of the time, especially when you're talking about like things like YouTube, a lot of the time when you see a lot of these artists have bigger views, when you look at the platform they put it on, yeah, right. So
Olga's gone there.
Yeah, when you look at some of the platforms they're putting on, they're not Christian platforms, yeah, right. And there's nothing wrong with that because I believe you have to reach out to those things, but those platforms already have the audience. You know what I'm saying?
You'll get 40,000 views.
You'll get the views before they even know what your track's about. They've seen a group of guys, and the thumbnail shows a group of guys. Yeah, sometimes with bellies on and whatnot.
Sure.
And they're thinking, like let me hear what. So they're thinking, this looks like a hard track. They pressed it. So as soon as you press it, you get the view. You know what I'm saying? So it's not because they've necessarily got that fan base. You know what I'm saying? It's because people are intrigued at what the thumbnail said.
Yeah. Go.
So I don't feel no way because when you go to their YouTube channel now, they got 200 views, 300 views.
Wow.
So it's like
this is the thing is, guys. You know, and we see the ministry wise and the million views wise and whatever. And we understand it's fantastic, but is it fake views? You know, because when you come and do events, so when me and Marcus now goes like, yo, 2023, we're gonna be doing a hip-hop special. I'm not prophesying it, you know, more time it could have easily happened. And we're gonna do Birmingham, London, yo, pure grind rappers and whatever they're still, yeah. You gonna say, look, I got 1 million views. Is that gonna is a million plays on Spotify? Is that going to movies? To think that person, can that person drive an audience? And a lot of times, guys, the plays don't equate to audiences. You know, you got 1 million plays and there's only about 10 people turn up.
Right now in the UK, yeah, in terms of hip-hop grime artists, I'm going to go there. If you're talking about the UK on the whole, there isn't any UK hip-hop grime artist that can drive a crowd fully. There isn't one. And I'm talking about even the big boys. If you're talking about just sticking in London,
Amen.
Yeah, right. If you're talking about just sticking in London, then I will say to you, the Governor Bees and a couple of the other heads, yeah, right, because they've got a big London following.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Governor Bees does a show now in London, he's going to sell out. If he tries to do the same thing in Manchester, it's going to be, for me, I think still it's going to be a bit hit and miss as to how many people are going to attend compared to London.
Yeah,
because a lot of his following is London. So, and that's not to say he's not a good artist. I mean,
far from it.
And the thing is, he's smart because he's doing a lot of other stuff. He's doing stuff on Sky Sports, on BBC, blah blah. So he knows what he's about. You know what I'm saying? He knows what about. He doesn't need to do some of the things that some of the other guys need to do.
Yeah.
But I say that because when you look, if you look at it like that, then the question is, okay, so if you're trying to reach beyond London, or you're trying to reach beyond whatever your circle is, what are you doing about it? What steps are you taking? What marketing things are you doing? Blah blah. This and that. I can go on this for ages. This would be a next podcast. You know what I'm saying?
It's true talk. It's true talk, man. Yeah, man.
That's the question.
It's true talk, and I think.
And it's very, and that's why I don't look at them now, and get jealous based on like stuff they're doing compared to what I was doing, because in my time we didn't have YouTube and all them kind of things. You know what I'm saying? Everything was like word of mouth. Oh, there's an event up there, we're going. So if you dropped an event in the early 90s, I wasn't seeing your fly on social media. Do you know what I'm saying? Someone, but I would hear about it in other ways.
But yet, you know, you could be doing an event and you could have 300-400 people turn up, 200 people turn up to a show.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It was very different then because there wasn't the exposure of events. Yeah, right. Events were so few and far between in terms of what people can go to. So when they say like Roger's doing an event up in Birmingham, yeah, right, everyone's going. You know what I'm saying? Because there's an event up in Birmingham, we know about it, and this is going on, everyone's going. Where now, right, because there's social media, people have a choice. There's one up there, I've seen all of those, about all these events in one day, so now I can pick which one I want to go to. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I got you.
It's different now.
It's different, and it's almost like fake friends, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? It's like you got, you got 5,000 followers, but you really got only 10. You know what I'm saying? Where before, everybody, I invite, say for example, Watchmen and Warrior, they'll call their cousins in Birmingham and say, yo, man, I come a show in Birmingham, man, bring me the family, man, I don't got family. But these days, you ask an artist today to come and do a show in Birmingham, they're not even vouched to their bedroom, they're not coming with nobody. Yeah, it's true. It's coming to Todd and it's come true. Yeah, you're like,
it's very true.
Really? It was absolutely really, man. So no, but that's proper interesting. So what? So guys, we can go on about this stuff anyway, so all day long still. Yeah, but now, so obviously we do beats and bars on the station, and again keep the football side out of things. I could talk about Liverpool FC on this station, but anyway, so right now still, but so you're doing beats and bars, and you're doing obviously we're definitely a rap situation, and what? Okay, right. So, what? Okay, so apart from that, what are you looking to do with it? Because obviously, you're doing a bit of a oil change with it, and you're coming back fresh with it. What's your plans of it, and why are you doing it?
The reason I started Beats Bars, I mean, for those that have been following my shows and stuff like that. So obviously, I started on Affinity with Clockworks.
Man.
So Clockwork was a very different thing in terms of it was mixed in terms of the genres. But then when I looked on the platform based, I could see that there was actually a number of different presenters and DJs that also played similar kind of music. That's what I was doing here. So I felt that I could afford to step away from that, knowing that it was covered, in order to go into an area which needed a bit more attention, being the hip hop and the grime. And I think it was very important to do that, because we were trying to cover all the areas in terms of reaching out to people. But on top of that, I've always had a passion for young people. And young people are listening to hip hop, grime, drill, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think I've told you in an earlier conversation that we had that I used to, along with myself, with Jonathan as well, and a couple of others, we were assisting at a youth, how can I put it, like a community group thing that was in Brixton at the time, a music academy, where we literally went there to teach people how to write, how to perform on stage, about stage presence. You had dancers teaching people how to dance, all this kind of stuff, and was working with the young people. And I've always had a passion for that. And I think with the Beats and Bars, one thing that I'm doing with that is, one, I want to encourage young people that are into it and are trying to learn how to get involved in it to do the material, and also provide a platform for them to say, you know what, if you're doing it, I want to hear it. Do you know what I'm saying? And not only just that, but in the midst of like giving them that platform, also my aim is to provide a draw to educate, because one thing I'm very big on is, like I said, me coming up, I had gifted and other people teaching me. Good. And I would love to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to now pass on what I know to some other people. Because you know, there's a generation coming up which are now in the exact same space that I was. Do you know what I'm saying? And then it's a case of who's out there listening to them, who's out there to give them opportunities, who's out there to show them, okay, did you know about this? Did you know about that? So that's what the aim of Beats and Bars is, to provide the good music in terms of hip hop things that people can tune in and enjoy it. But at the same time, like I said, to work with young people, provide that platform and to educate them in terms of whatnot. And I really want to take it beyond. I mean, I should probably have this conversation with you off air properly, but I really want to take it beyond that in the sense of one day seeing like a Beats and Bars kind of like school thing where they'll go into schools and you'll work with young kids in schools. So you take the school Beats and Bars thing and you kind of work with the schools and say, okay, let's get the young people together, put on a show, blah, blah. So little things like that. So I'm always someone thinking bigger. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, 100%.
And that's my thing. I love working with young people, and whatever I can do to encourage them, provide a platform for them, and to let them know that, you know, your voice is just as important as this next artist that you're probably at home listening to. I want to do that.
Most definitely, that's really definitely cool. So definitely, guys, watch his space. You know, we're gonna be having a refresh of Beats and Bars in the next 6 to 8 weeks. We'll be coming back. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be coming hard visually as well as audibly, man, 100%. You know, and so do watch that. We want to really evolve the station. We want to really hit the content out there, and we want to really be there to support UK gospel. And I hope that. This is my biggest bugbear, guys. You know, UK gospel, man, and a lack of relationship that we have with media and UK gospel. I will batter this on, guys, because I feel that this is a real Achilles heel for the kingdom. That you know, we operate like we don't know each other. We operate like we can't communicate. You know, too often. To the other day, we're not hearing about releases correctly for the station. We got radio presenters. We've got a group of up to 20, and I think that sometimes. Maybe one or two of them will get the music and nobody else will. And I'm thinking, you know, have we really got an effective system out there for hitting out radio DJs? Because for me, I would have done as a young artist, gone to something like Affinity Extra and you're seeing 20 people. I would get in 20 email addresses and messages, and they'd be sending them people individually as well as the station on top of that still, you know what I mean? That's what the things that I was doing 20 years ago. So why don't the artists don't care? I know people have sent email addresses for Affinity Extra or even themselves individually in groups with artists, and we're still waiting for their music.
I mean, I get a lot of emails from artists, but this goes back to what you're saying, is that a lot of them target individual presenters and DJs rather than the station on a whole. And I get these emails, a lot of them from them sending the new music and stuff like that, but there's certain ones which you can tell their mind is like above in terms of how they're thinking, and that they pop it on this and they know how to run through. So, you know, I'm just giving a shout out to someone like Rebler, for example. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know Rebler has 2 of my email addresses because when he releases something, I get that email to both email addresses. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me.
So I know he's taking his time, man's built up his email list. You know what I'm saying? So he can reach out to people and stuff like that. And that's
he's an OG though. He's a big man in this thing, so he knows.
So he knows what it's about, and that's what I think the youngers need to kind of get on in terms of like, okay,
but it's cool to the station, bro. He's come to the station on his ones. Cool. He's able to put the time in and come up here and do the interview.
And that's what I want to see, that same hunger in the youngers as well, to know that, you know, it's not just about me going to the studio, making the tune and then dropping it, but actually if I want it to go beyond, I need to put in that effort to like do my research, find out who the people I need to know, where the places I need to be, all that kind of stuff, and beyond this thing.
Man. No, that's definitely crazy, man. That's crazy. So we just want to encourage UK gospel to just come true, man, and we're here to support you and Affinity Extra because we're here to celebrate you, man. You know what I mean? If you don't talk to us, man, you do get a bunch of Bex presenters that are moaning and groaning and start to ignore your music, and that's the reality, bro. We play who we enjoy as well. Whoever knocks us off when we see that name, you're not going to get played.
Listen, you know what? Let me just touch on that. I need to touch on that quick.
Go on.
There's something that so I like at the moment and like training to be an electrician. So one of my tutors said this thing to me, which was in regards to being an electrician, but I think it counts for the music industry as well, right? Which is, be careful how you treat people, right, on your way up, because you never know who's going to be there to help you on your way down. And that's the thing for me, is that you get a lot of artists, they're trying to build a thing, and then they want to treat you a certain way. Like they look at you, they speak to you in a certain way, they say they're better than you, or like look at you like who are you, or this, that, and the other, you know, go on like they're too special. And then suddenly when they realize actually who you are, suddenly they want to blow you up on DMs and everything else like that. And go on like, oh yeah, they're your brethren. I'm like, listen, I'm the same dude where I was trying to reach out to you and speak to you before you. Like you're trying to go on like you're too good for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you find man's on radio. Yeah, man. Suddenly my DMs can't get a break. You know what I'm saying? So be careful who you speak to, like I said, on your way up, because on your way down, or when you're trying to do things, you never know who's going to be there to help you, man.
Mate, they just stand back out like them, like the artists that jumps off the crowd into the crowd. You know, the ones that jump off the crowd. Yeah, you don't do that with black people. By the way,
I'm stepping out,
bro. Man, I have to pay to be in here, mate. So you never gave me no free tickets. So, mate, trust me, I'm letting you lick that floor hard. You're not gonna come upon me and mash on my shoulder.
I'm stepping to the side. I'm taking a picture of you, and I'm uploading it on my social.
Oh man, shooting that on video, bro. Just do the slow mo as he goes. You know what I'm saying? But no, I definitely feel that and appreciate that, bro, because I think that's a very, very, very valid point, man. You know, because it's a bugbear. But listen, guys, this is us on Affinity Extra, celebrating gospel music of Black origin. We're here on the Edge Show. We got it all chopped up and edgy with DJ Marx. It sounds like we're ready for part 2, 3, 4, and 5. He's going to be coming up to the sunny town of Birmingham. He's been able to breathe fresh air right about here for the past, you know what I mean, like that. So yeah, he's closer to Anfield from here. He's halfway to Anfield, you know, all that vibe. So he's making it smile anyway. So yes, you know what I mean. This is how we do it, man. Here and Affinity Extra, celebrating gospel music of Black origin on the Edge with Roger Moore alongside DJ Marx.
Thank you for watching the content we're putting out. Listen, make sure that you are liking, subscribing and following us on all our social channels, including patreon.com. Make sure you're finding us on there to support what we do so we can support you. And remember, guys, be extra.